Bum, ba-dum, bum. There we go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Azuka here. I'm going to bring you the 5th day of scoring phase. Tonight we have quite a few battles. Well, actually, in the first phase, there's quite a few battles. In the second round of matches, there's not. We've got 2 people have given up. But anyway, tonight in Group A, we have QJ versus YE. In the second round, we have SKC versus BPJ. For the B group, we have MTA versus TKH, followed by ABC versus TKT. Unfortunately, ABC has given up. In the C group, we have the EFFS versus OIO, and then followed that is RN versus GST, but unfortunately, RN has given up. RN versus GST, so RN has given up. In the D group, we have Pleb versus Tang, and then followed by that is EFF versus OF. For tonight, we're going to be watching the MTA versus TKH, otherwise known as Avengers versus the Knights Hospitals. Hospitala? Hospitalers? Hospitalers? Or Hospitalers? I'm not sure how to say that word. I'm pretty sure I'm close. Should be a couple more minutes before the first battle rages on. We have Hidden City for the first. Well, we have Hidden City as the choice. Just realizing, the actual maps that can be selected from during the scoring phase is Hidden City, Angolia, Sun City, and Riverland Castle. That's why we get a lot of Riverland Castle. I'm pretty sure Riverland Castle or Hidden City are pretty much one of pretty much a go-to. I mean, I'd give Sun City a crack. If you're confident in your cavalry, Sun City can be a pretty good one. Otherwise, that base point is really good for the attackers if you got a setup. I think I realize why people don't do Sun City though is because getting in the city is pretty difficult, and coming down from the wall is you kind of just run yourself straight into the enemy supply point. So not sure actually. Been a while since I've seen a team actually take on Sun City. Riverland Castle have just kind of devolved into the 2 siege towers getting destroyed, going with the triple climb, otherwise a forced front gate push. Bit sketchy either way. Hidden City is a little bit even, probably even more sketchier because if you it really is awkward when all of the siege towers keep going down and you can't really solve that issue. A climb with the ladders is pretty much your best bet at that point. But I think Hidden City also has a smaller gate, so that it's even more intense at the front gate. If you can do a multi-push, that would be probably the best, but you'd also have to scout out where the enemies are. If either the right or the left-hand side is weak, but you'd normally I would weight the left-hand side with more people, just naturally, because you've got 2 siege towers versus 1 siege tower. So if I was forced to go through the front gate, or like I couldn't get any of the siege towers up, I'd definitely weight the right-hand side with more climbers. So I mean, you got some very far right-hand side ladders. I think there's 2. Otherwise, there's definitely 3 at the front. Oh, I think actually 2 at the front. Probably 2 at the front and 1, and probably adding an extra. So it's probably just 1 on the side, 2 at the front. And we're going straight off at 8 o'clock. So I wish both of these teams luck. First time I'm watching these teams as well. We get to see Seaking again in the next battle, since I'll be watching the Seaking versus versus BPJ, otherwise known as Brave Player Jump. But first off, we have the Avengers versus the Knights Hospital. Taking a look at the unit composition. Again, the Claymores being chosen is an interesting pick, mainly because at the effectiveness rate against the tier 5s is actually pretty low, but when you subject it to it's ranked pretty high on the tier 4 side. Just wondering whether or not they really contend in tier 5s. We got one Royal Janissaries out for the attackers. Does look like Avengers are attacking first with the Knights Hospitaller. TKH is going to defend. We got, wow, a lot of cataphracts. 5 cataphracts. We also have 5 pikes out for the defenders. A little bit more even spread for the attackers. Wow, this is pretty stacked. We got triple Bastion Wild Flames. We got 2 Metallators only. Maybe there should have been a third one to suppress all 3 siege towers. Also, look like the attackers have a heavy stack here on the left-hand side. Going to be interesting to see what kind of strategy both of these teams employ. I do think TKH is going to go and going to stop those siege towers. Pretty much what the defenders realistically will do is stop those siege towers. I don't think they're going to contest the wall too much. I think they'll contest some of wall climbs for easy exchanges. But I think TKH might choose instead to give up the wall if they get the siege towers up. Because they have cavalry, and they have a lot of it. I'd make use of that cavalry as fast as possible. I highly doubt that the defenders will hold the wall for more than a single push. But massive, massive numbers here on the left-hand side from Avenger. They've got plenty of mortars being set up. Probably a good strategy. The focus on the front too is pretty heavy. We've got, yeah, like, we even have culverins being set up in the back here to shoot at those towers. But they have committed to those culverins at the back, which is fairly interesting since I think they've just gone straight up with the, whoa, Iron Pagoda climb. Very unfortunate because Iron Pagoda is getting absolutely wrecked by the Iron Reapers. As you can see, every time the Iron Reaper with sword mode stabs or attacks, the Iron Pagodas get dazed out. But now followed by an Iron Reaper. This middle one probably got knocked down. Claymores at the front here will get decimated as more Iron Reapers pop up. We got a couple of Claymores as well. Whoa! Rusty and Wild Flames also doing a climb. We have a Royal Janissaries that finished climbing on the far side, trying to deal damage. Royal Janissary versus Royal Janissary here, but I do think the attackers Royal Janissaries will be feeling the pain. Oh, that's very unfortunate, having that entire Reaper squad just retreating. Hopefully it disappears before it dies out. It's trying to retreat, but it can't go anywhere because there's literally nowhere to go. Lots of trebs coming out at this corner as lots of people come in. Siege Tower bug out? Oh no, that's not good. Or, yeah, Siege Tower bugged out. Don't know why. I'd pull your guys off the Siege Tower and see if that helps reset it. So, massive losses for the attackers there. Good effort for the climb, but good commitment from the defenders as well. They are looking to lose A. Doesn't look like anyone's going to defend it. All siege towers are up on the wall. Good strategy. I don't think the exchange was terrible. They did able to get A fairly easily, with the front gate also being opened or destroyed. So I think TKH was expecting this to a certain extent. I have seen plenty of battles just come down to time. I still don't understand this siege tower. It was at the wall and the guys were still pushing it, and it wouldn't connect. That is a nasty bug. But anyway, enough about that. We're continuing on to the next phase. The losses, heavy. Definitely heavy. We're looking at a unit, well, not a unit difference, but looking at how many units were lost. About 60, 58-ish units, additional units lost. Or wait, no. 62 units lost there. Doing my math wrong. 62 units. 62 more units were lost on that push for the attackers than the defense. Whoa! Alright. Interesting trip. Just wanted to get this section destroyed. Oh, that could have been nasty. Interesting. So, the Knights Hospital actually just letting them. I think that's a wasted ballista. Yeah, waste of resources there. But they expected a fight. Got 20 artillery to 8 artilleries right now. So, a little bit of a skirmish out. May as well... Whoa! I see. The very far away Culverin still shooting. Avengers being very cautious here. They don't want to be caught out, but TKH definitely inviting them down on the ground. Definitely inviting them on the ground. I don't see a reason not to take it. It might feel like it's a trap, but it's not. They want to fight here on the ground. They weren't in position for this part here. I think they might have gone for the backside of the stairs, which is really dumb here because if they turn this corner, any respawns comes up right behind them. This section here is fairly safe. I mean, you could go around this way, but it's a double turn, so it will take a while to perform a flank like this. Not to mention, they do seem to have a holding force. This center pile, probably better off for the attackers, but it's going to be a corner. Yeah, great shot. Just hit straight away. And there's the Bastion Wild Flame. Both sides using Bastion Wild Flames, actually. Only one Bastion Wild Flames for the attackers, though. Front battle has kicked off. We got Imperial Pike March from the defenders, trying to keep the sides suppressed. Lots of room here as we got Shenji shooting. Those Metallators getting really close. You're not controlling very well when they get that close. The position of the Medaus still holding the line. We got some Claymores let go in the center of that. It's a massive standoff as it comes down to who has more range firepower. Grape shots being shot at each other like crazy. I think one shield unit would have been amazing across here. That would have been absolutely gorgeous. Here comes some cataphracts from the side. Medaus need to hold strong, but Imperial Pikes does come in to hold the line. Here comes a second one. I'd march. And he does. Imperial Pikes catches that second cataphract. I do think the Medaus do an amazing job as well. Also knocks down these Claymores. These Claymores will definitely be eating it pretty hard. Losses. Lots of losses for the defenders here. As you can see, the exchange was very bad for the defenders. I thought, okay, so I think I was giving the defenders too much credit here because once you start in the engage here, you have to push them completely out, and this here is too much space. Like, you can't suppress the enemy in this angle, and I'll be honest, like, range firepower, we got the Metallators, we got both the Shenjis. The defenders didn't seem to bring out the Metallators. They brought out one Brassial Mild Flames, but they carry no Shenji. They should have brought... actually, no. They brought out the one of the Metallators, but I don't think they should have brought out both the Metallators. In the end, the exchange was awful. Like, so many Medaus were just shot to pieces as they were just basically sitting ducks. They were just tanking shots, which is Not ideal, but it is what you got. Oh my goodness, there's no way. It doesn't work like that, does it? Oh my god. Oh my god, if that was... Man, if only it worked like that. You can do that with Shenji, because Shenjis detect whether or not there's obstacles in front of them, which is really cool. But a lot of old range units don't. But this guy... Wow. Actually catching the tip there. Although no kills, that's very unfortunate. Avengers stacking heavily on the left-hand side. Not going for a full surround here. I do think that they could take some of the smaller fights outside. Definitely, if you can catch these claymores and these royal janissaries, that would be massive. But according to the unit difference, it's about 179 unit difference. That's at least 6 units. That's at least 6 units, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be 6 high tier units as well. Probably clocking on to 7-ish. Not very many. No, well, a lot of serfs, I would say, but not completely out. The early cataphracts didn't seem to work out too well, but they have engaged the rest of them. So they had 5 cataphracts at the beginning. I didn't see the Keshig before, but now I do. They have 1 Keshig, so let's see if the Knights Hospitals can keep the cavalry ready to go. We've got some regular Demez pikemen, spearmen, sorry. I have to do note that, like, these guys are not bad at stopping cavalry. I say that, but it's just like any shield, Western style shield units have the brace weapon property, so they'll technically stop cavalry if they poke them. Oh, we got some Winged Hussars actually in play from the Avengers here. The attackers having Winged Hussars in play means that all other cavalry chargers are moot against it. And a narrow space with all of the cavalry here. I do think if they... Shenji, nice combo. Skirmishers, well, Shenji here, mixed with Hussars, means that they will hole up into this spawn point. Having the Winged Hussars be in play the entire time would be key to keep those cavalries from running rampant. Slow but surely, it does look like they forced the Port of Russia to turn the corner with Royal Janissaries versus Claymores, but here comes some... But the Pike tries to go straight for the range at the back here. Their formation is falling apart. I think this is mainly due to not enough units falling in, so their frontal push is actually weak. Cataphracts go in from the front here. Not very many frontliners left, but I do think their advantage is slowly trickling through. Surprisingly, those Cataphracts could not deal more damage. We had a massive, massive fight at the back here with the Winged Hussars getting caught on something. Does look like a charge mess there. Cataphracts do a rough turnaround. A secondary charge through the back line. Does look like they cleaned up base point, but it's just the cavalry left in play. Keshig's getting caught up here. Try to activate 2 and then return charge, but all of them get stopped on top of a Madao. Demez pikemen trying to deal with the cataphracts that just running through. The attackers now swarm in with the rest of their infantry. Does look like the clearing force did take a beating, but with only 10 members left from TKH, I don't think they're going to be able to push their way through against this mass. There's nothing really strong coming out from TKH either. We got a little bit of claymores. We've got around about 8 claymores coming through. Treb, and it's going to be mostly friendly fire as they try to keep the TKH off of this point. Not doing too bad. The pikes are doing work. The exchanges in heroes are not terrible, I would say. There's a 1-to-1 just now, and does look like a a pickup for the attackers. But the attackers' overwhelming infantry numbers will definitely keep them at bay. Double Madao here trying to staunch the reinforcements. We got some... Fort Russia is actually just looking to engage, just going to send them on through in attack mode. Now here's the difficult part. With both entrances blocked off and basically you got only 7 heroes. This Jewel Blade also still a thing. Jewel Blade in invisible, while invisible, cannot stop a cap. Heroes coming in from the left and right. They're doing their best, but it's 3 minutes 30. I'm gonna have to hand it to Avenger. It was pretty impressive. It was pretty impressive how things went so well for them. The wall pressure could have been kept up if they killed the siege towers, but the siege towers didn't get destroyed. The exchanges was in favor, but it wasn't massive. I say it wasn't massive, but 80 high tier units could have been massive.
Death summons you. Together we stand.
I love the discipline from Avengers right now, doing a lot of things where I'd expect more people to just rush in. I really do think that the cavalry was... I do think the cavalry from TKH was limited by the absolute discipline of the formation from Avenger. Avenger holding that back section, knowing that the cavalry wants to go in through there, was pretty key. I do think it was a misplay from TKH not to activate their cavalry sooner, but I also think it was a mistake to go in through the way that Avengers was expecting. Or, like, you want to flank with cavalry, but if you know they're expecting you, then that means that's their front now, so you just go from, their other side. Anyway. Well done. We got 2 guys heading to 1,000. Any guy over 700 already ranking pretty high. Lots of hero kills, in fact, as well. Not very many hero kills for TKH, but the exchanges are not terrible. Doing a respectable number of hero kills by the looks of it. Lots of hero deaths as expected from a desperate defense from the last point. Someone doing very well at 1,000 and then only 1 follow-up. There were at least 5 people over 700 for the Avenger, and 1 person ranking super low. That's very unfortunate. As you can see here, a little bit of bad exchange, but the one at B was super pickup. That was so massive that it was not even funny. And then a good... You see here, like, the infantry lost equal out each other, but their sheer numbers won them the day. And then, like, the cavalry must have engaged at this point, and it was just a slow decline in unit deaths as they were running out. But let's get ready for the next battle. Hopefully I didn't miss it. It's a little bit of a rush. Sometimes I don't want to stay in that for too long, as I might get left behind since they don't particularly wait for the observers to come back in. Gonna have to say, a very impressive display from Avengers there. I think both teams were quite methodical in their planning. The Knights Hospital really knew where they wanted to fight, but I think their execution was lacking. Preparation of ranged unit was also important. If if you're gonna take that fight down that alleyway, you would need absolute range superiority. I think they were trying to make it up with, trying to make up for range with their artillery. So it's just fairly interesting that, um, it's just fairly interesting that when you're engaged in a situation like that B point is a combination of both teams trying to do the same thing. They're trying to get their infantry in position to stop each other's infantry and then get ranged units in front. And the sides were definitely protected on the Avengers side, and you wanted to get those cataphracts through. So I'd honestly think that the Knights Hospital didn't go hard enough in the center. When they turned that corner, should have went much harder. Should have basically went so hard that they had no room. But it's so much space, and once you go through, you expose your side, which I think could be an open opportunity to have cavalry come in to wipe out a counter push, or to have them actually move around to the right hand side and come down this lane on the right side of B. But anyway, we got this next battle already beginning. 14v15. Looks like someone from TKH did drop out, or DC'd by the looks of it. Not sure what happened there. Lots of muskets coming out from Avengers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 muskets coming out from Avengers here. Lots of cataphracts as well. Does look like they're engaging their cavalry sense here, swapping out some of the Shenjis they had before. Hello, Shrimp Hydra. It's a 3-minute delay, so you won't be able to see this immediately. But what is happening? We're watching the second battle of Avengers versus the Knights Hospitallers, with Avengers taking the first battle. But what if you're asking why this is a 14v15? I honestly don't know. I think a 14v15 is interesting. Actually, no, there were 15 people. Does look like one of the guys accidentally either left at the last second. I think he left at the last second there. He loaded back in just in time. No, I take that back. He did not load in at all. That is brutal. That is actually kind of brutal. As the attackers, 14v15 is even worse than as the attackers, having one less player is pretty devastating. The lack of manpower is pretty evident while you're attacking. Defending, not so much, as there are plenty of avenues to take advantage of. There's many hard points you can take advantage of, and defender's advantage is prevalent in the fact that their goal, the attacker's goal is to take the points, while the defenders just need to defend the point. Defender's natural advantage is just what I'm trying to say. You can survive. It's more easy to survive a 14v15 as the defenders than it is for the attackers. Just trying to say what I'm. Yeah, that's what I'm just trying to get at. Medal's just here cleaning up some free village watchmen as they're getting thrown up on the wall here. I guess it's just mainly as a search for a distraction. Does look like the Knights Hospitallers looking for those back culverin. Doesn't look like they exist. 4 artilleries have been deployed, but I'm not sure where. That is interesting. 4 artilleries. 3 artilleries from... Oh, wait, actually, no. The attackers have 1 person down, so they actually haven't put anything down. But A is being gotten for free. Does look like Avengers just wants to let them have it. Punisher does take out one of the roaming members. A few have died now. This might be a long battle, as A has been getting for free. Gotten? don't think Avenger has any intention to defend the wall, so we're just gonna wait for TKH to get the memo and just take the wall for themselves and prepare for the next stage. 70 losses of surf units, that's about 2 and a bit. Nasty ballista here. I'd actually honestly have a ballista here at the very front. With no range backing them up, I'd honestly just have my guys just set up here and just shoot them. I don't know why. They're just standing here. It's pretty awful just to have all pikemen, not even a single shield. If they had a single shield to block with his pikemen, it's actually a double. Is that a double? Yeah, that double halberdier sergeants. Not halberdier sergeants, halberdiers, just regular halberdiers. And also because of the chainmail around their helmet, you can obviously tell that they're actually anti-cavalry style. You can go top line to make an anti-infantry, get the 10% against infantry, otherwise 20% against cavalry. I have seen on some occasions where if the winged hussars don't instantly kill the halberdiers at the front, they will die to halberdiers. Just regular halberdiers will kill winged hussars. I guess that's an very unnatural or awkward way to put it. Alright. Not... Okay, this is... Not sure... Are they just giving it up? This is so weird. What are you doing? You're just trying to extend their suffering. Well, I mean, not really, because if the defenders kill the attackers until all of them are just perma-dead, since, like, you only have 2 reses, so you can only die 3 times. So, I mean, like, the attackers gotta be careful about actually just dying, just straight up dying. But it also gives give the defenders another goal. Kind of unrealistic, but I mean, like, it has happened before, where the defenders have killed the attackers to the point where there were no more attackers. They have absolute advantage here, so I mean, absolute advantage, 14 v 15, and they're making them take a fight here, which is like, I'm not sure what your plan is, but you're stationing yourselves in awkward positions. I'd never think of a defense on this at this middle section here. You've got 4 avenues to come in through, and you can get bypassed for most of them. This Treb didn't hit true. That's very unfortunate. I don't think it hit anyone though. How they're just swinging right around. They try to have cavalry come up behind them. Very funny. They lose 2 winged hussars. Nothing exciting happening now. It's pretty much a big stalemate. So I know the defenders. Whoa. Treb does come through, taking out a couple more winged hussars. It's a good pickup and a good exchange. Every dead cavalry is, in my book, is like a win. Oh, that's very unfortunate. Down goes one of the ballistas. You gotta be careful here. Oh my god! Falconetti actually... Metaldor actually takes out the dual blade there. Oh my god. He must be pretty salty off that. He takes a ballista shot to the front and then just killed by Falconetti. More ballista shots coming through, but again, absolute, like, they also have a culprit here. That's interesting. I heard a charge. Anyway, we got a battle here at the supply point. A bit awkward here. Winged hussars going in through the front. Damn tree. makes it through. Actually slaughters quite a few of the Medaus here. As you can see, probably very wounded. Medaus facing the wrong way, but probably because they got pushed from the top. Push from the top, push from the back. They're not pouring in more troops here, so a limited number of troops coming in through here, trying to face two direction is pretty horrible. But obviously the attackers have more mass here. Not an awful exchange for the defenders though, but... Oh, the Shenji is just trying to run away. Oh my god. The Medaus hold the line. Massive pickup of just sheer number of units here. That's not good. You're losing a couple of your retreating units. Here comes some cataphracts behind the Medaus. Nice cleave. Definitely tons of damage coming through. This could be a nasty sandwich. I'm not sure what happened there. Did they just let the Medaus just walk by them? They're letting a lot of cavalry through. The Medaus need to brace up to stop this cataphract from wreaking havoc, as it's literally cleaning up lots of the sections. But some of their own cataphracts are now coming through. The attackers did have the base point for a short while, but the defenders definitely just pouring in now. We have some Tundra humans rocking around. Iron Reapers, while charging, does wreck quite a few cataphracts, but unfortunately just the sheer mass, just the sheer number of cataphracts still ongoing there. Both sides losing out plenty of units, but we have the defenders having more heroes out on the field. Oh no. Cataphract behind? Nah, looks like they'll just leave it to the Medal. Bit of a scattered fight here. Kind of good that they kind of dodged that, but still taking about 6 of them taking heavy damage. Those Winged Hussars could catch those cataphracts if they choose to engage, but I think they've already used their charge of some sort. These Iron Reapers are getting just charged from the back now, actually. A reverse charge. Not actually doing too well, they're just decimating that Iron Reaper, but the Iron Reaper does pick up a few kills for what it's worth. Although it is still an Iron Reaper, very valuable in the whole scheme of things. This is an extraordinarily non-standard defense, and it's very interesting that Avenger chooses to take fights, certain fights, and seem to sit still in others. Winged Hussar is just being used to clean up a couple of village watchmen. That's probably not a good trade. But even though... Well, we still haven't seen either team rest at this point. We got some halberdiers, actual halberdier sergeants now, rocking around, stunning these claymores into smithereens as they get whacked out. Oh, they're trying to go for a base push again, but the Medaus are too strong by the looks of it. Just a few staunches the tide of surf units. We got lots of Medaus here at the back, securing the back, as units and heroes try to get up behind them. Imperial Pike Marchers comes through, but I don't think it's a full unit, or if it is, it's kind of a bit scattered. I don't know what that charge was, but by Javelin Militia. The Claymores and the... Whoa, I didn't even realize that there was a nice sweep there. Big pickup with a Winged Hussar charge. I didn't even see that there was an Iron Reaper from the attackers in that mix there. Both sides clocking down on units quite heavily. I do think that the attackers being down naturally one player means that they could actually win this, which is very surprising. I'm not too sure what Avengers' plan was, but Avengers not doing too hot on a lot of things right now. They're just throwing their units in. I've got good discipline, but I guess it shows that they're not very good at taking the advantage.
Together we stand.
Better quality teamwork, but lower quality players. This is where individual skills come out and shine. I say that as they just knock out like 7 players right now. Probably one-on-one, deathmatch style. Maybe the low tier units did help of sorts. I think the Winged Hussars are probably one of the only high tier units left for the attackers, as a lot of them are just dead. Let's have a look at how many. Looks like only 6 lives exist. We have 7 in play, so it does look like a couple more guys will respawn, but I think we can roughly say probably 4 or 5 of them are permadeath at this stage. We'll see if they can actually still turn the tide. Unit deaths on both sides are clocking down. It's purely just surf, so the strength of their heroes will definitely come in play. I don't see anything significantly problematic. 3 minutes 30 to go, and you have Winged Hussars. Winged Hussars, any kind of cavalry, would be absolutely devastating. One good charge could sweep out all of their low-tier units. Probably waiting for every single last member to respawn. Maybe only have 9 guys. Yeah, does look like they only have 9 guys out on the field. The 4 lives left are split amongst those of the surviving players. 9 versus 12. Not sure. Actually, not sure if Punisher, Cloudstream, and Moon Knight all seem to have clocked out and died. Permadeathing. Death. Here we go. Punisher dead. Yep. There we go. There we go. I gotta press Y next time. So, Moon Knight, Cloudstream, and Punisher are definitely dead. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 for THQ dead. So, 9 to 12. So, if they can make up for 3 heroes in a deathmatch style, and this is not good. Felix here, getting caught out. Does he die? He is so close to hell. Death there. That was devastating. But the short swords galore save him, but one of the pikes from TKH dies instead. We have the mass of infantry from both sides, just mostly surf units, and line after line of just racing those village watchmen. Winged Hussars comes in from behind, but I'm not even sure what they hit. Even if they hit a lot of them, there's just too many of them remaining. This is a massive treb here. We've got 2 minutes left to go. 8 players versus 12 players. They really need to pick up those heroes and exchange their... Another pickup, actually. Out of units now. TKH needs to get those heroes and stick together, but one of them getting caught out here. Short sword might go down. Does look like another pike went down. Short sword's horse goes down. It's just a chase to the finish here. That was a much closer battle than I expected, especially being a 14v15. I most certainly think that if they had that 15th player, they could have definitely have won the attack. For very strange reasons, the Avenger just giving up a lot of territory, for free in fact, but the exchange in the battle does show that I do think that TKH is showing better engagements in this time around, probably on the smaller side, but in the terms of things, in the whole engagements, I do think Avenger does pick it up. And there goes the pike. We got 2 people left actually, because we have a couple of respawns. So, in the whole scheme of things, Avenger, their teamwork was much lower than last time. On the defending side, it does look like they take a very passive defensive style. Well, I say passive defensive style. They moved in positions where it's just obvious that they would take losses for free, and especially this section here. This section here where they're sitting in the middle of the road and then they split themselves up. One attacking the supply point and one checking the enemy supply point, sort of, but like it's so awkward. It's all awkward to defend this style because if you don't get on that supply point, if whoever has that supply point really wins the day here, and if they can pull, that's even worse. But I also think splitting your forces in the case where you're attacking, you're gonna end up with your attacking force getting enveloped and surrounded and destroyed almost immediately, while your reserve forces are basically just sitting ducks. Quite a scattered fight here, a little bit sketchy on a lot of things, but I do think I do think Avengers could have done way better on that. Um, their guy DCing and not being able to come back was very unfortunate. T TKH doing very well on the scoreboard. I think that lends credence to that. Maybe the TKH has better individual players, but Avenger definitely having more better teamwork. But on the defending side, you'd expect teamwork to work out much better on the defending side than the attacking side. But it definitely goes to show that Avenger not on the ball here. Very scattered. I'm gonna have to say very scattered, but still still doing respectable in the scoreboard. Both clocking down quite heavily, but the four guys, the three at the top, definitely picking up the slack for a lot of their other teammates here. Gonna have to hand it to TKH, playing on with 14v15 and making it come close, in fact. Both teams coming down to just surf units. And respectable kills from both sides. As I said before, TKH did respectable in terms of kills. Their death was not terrible in this scenario. In the defending side it was. Defending side it wasn't too bad either. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that one. The next set of battles will happen in 18 minutes. So I hope you guys can bear with me as we wait for the next set of battles. Probably won't start anytime soon, so I'll catch you guys in a bit. Ta-da! Alrighty. About 6 minutes to go. 6 minutes to go before the next set of battles starts to kick off. We got BPJ versus SKC. SKC not really my favorite right now. Haven't seen what BPJ has to offer, but I do think they're an old team. I think they have participated before, or maybe I think BP and GF was the name of some NetEase teams back in the day. But otherwise, their full names are Brave Player Jump and Seaking. Seakings, again, I hope they're going to do better this time. We're on Hidden City, probably the same map. Random Attacker. So we just finished up watching the Avengers versus the Knights Hospitalers. That ended up with 2 to Avengers, 0 for the Knights Hospitalers. The scoring phase goes on for a long time, so it's going to be interesting to see how this tournament reacts with the new units coming in. We will see the new season starting on the 9th, and we get to see quite a few battles throughout the season. So I hope you guys all enjoy these tournament style battles. I for sure love commentating for these tournament style battles. They're pretty cool to watch, especially when you're seeing some pretty intense fighting. It does look like BPJ is made up of a couple of different houses. Well, before the battle starts, I'm going to try to finish this up. Did you now? Well, I don't think I don't think all of BPJ are 386 members. That's the confusing thing. I mean, like, just because there's one 386 member here doesn't mean they're all from 386. I can't recognize names too well. Maybe if I look back and look at the names properly for when we were battling 386, it could have been them. Quite possibly. I think I would have recognized Peter at the very least. Oh, here we go. The battle is about to begin. BPJ or Seaking. Who's going to attack first? Also, Mesme, like, I really do hope people keep their same name. I can't stand people to keep changing their in-game name and where I can't identify them. Especially when it's like on the same game. Like having multiple accounts on the same game. Why? Just why? Got two guys not even selecting their units. Imagine if these guys DC'd and coming in with nothing. Devastating. Lots of short swords. That's a crazy number of short swords. That is 7 short swords coming out from BPJ. Seaking's going in quite a few short swords as well. 1 short, so 7. Oh, what? No, 7 to 5. 7 to 5 short swords. So they're trying to outdo each other. 2 banner guards, 1 alchemist. That is very interesting. And another a guy coming in with the heavy shields. Another person came out with the heavy shields before, so I'm gonna see. Let's hope they do make use of it. In terms of range units, we got 1 Metallitor, 1 Nafan guards. Lots of range units coming out from BPJ. We got 2 Metallitors only. I think a third one is useful. 1 Nafan guards. Some guy going out. So like, and 3 other musket units. Hands down, gonna have to say that BPJ does have range superiority in this case. So as a defender, you gotta really make use of avenues where you can get your range firing, dealing that damage, and have the enemy just take losses. Hmm? What am I doing? There we go. I was not selected on this. Make sure I'm muted. Alrighty. All of these weapons being pushed. Natural spawns being used. Alright. Nothing too interesting happening so far. We got some royal janissaries up on the wall here, though. That is trebable if you stand on top of it. We've got, yeah, we got a cauldron. This is a good position. Can't go too high, but I think definitely could have put it more down. Like, you could have put it on maybe... I would try to put it on the first step here. Like, I try to put this, like, the wheels on the second step or the first step. Like, between here. That would have been the best place if you could get the wheels there. But, that's where they put it. Right-hand siege tower goes down, left-hand siege tower went down, and we have the middle siege tower being worked on. Got a cauldron here, might gonna have to thread the needle here. He shoots it anyway. What a waste of a shot, but gonna have to destroy it. Realistically, I wouldn't put a cauldron down here because it wastes a shot. Here would be a good spot. Again, using these stairs are really good to put cauldrons down, especially if you're close by. Otherwise, desperate measures, put it directly in front. Middle siege tower does look like it will go down with another well-placed shot. Well, looks like we have a glaive in the background. It takes a while, Mesme. It takes a while. Also had to remind myself who you were. Peter versus a Glaive. A Glaive is surviving. Probably doesn't get one-tapped by the Jewel Blade. Jewel Blade will keep on him. He's no horse, so that is devastating. Big smack. But, whoa! Did you see that? So, for those of you folks that just watched a CC, so he did his invisibility. You can actually do this with Infiltrator as well. That is actually pretty impressive, using the alchemic vapors to become CC immune, because alchemic vapors cannot actually recover you from a throw. BPJ also throwing in their bodies to take out the Metallators. He did some work, taking out 6 of them, in fact. Doesn't look like it's bottom line one, so... I take that back. 4 of them. Well, didn't see the other 2. I thought he killed 6 of them. But Middle Siege Tower did make it. Wow. By literally a sliver. I think it was first generation as well. I think the last shot missed because it probably hit a pole or something. That's very upsetting. Although there's only one way in. I'd still maybe take a challenge here. Here comes a Treb. You can spot it. Let's see if he's smart. No! Oh my goodness, that first shot was absolutely devastating. That hit was absolutely devastating, crippling 4 of the guys there. A side swipe by the... Oh. The Royal Janissaries just cleave a couple of those guys in half. Bit of a loss here. Does look like BBJ does not want to take the fight on the wall. A fight on the wall is at a disadvantage now since they are here. But you could have tried to suppress the siege tower. I would have at least done that. Smart thing to do here as well, to take out the crenellation, or like this part of the wall. Getting that Treb directly in here. That was so amazing. So sweet. Also, Seaking Seaking doing very well. I think it lends credence to BPJ is probably don't have. Well, let's hold my words for this. We'll probably get to see more of them as they battle each other. Let's see if Seaking can pull off something special. Letting your units go here, bit of micromanagement for these Royal Janissaries. You leave them on the spot for too long, and they'll decide to do something else. The buff from the Banner Guards don't immediately disappear, but what are you doing? No one holding the front. Like, instantly surrounded. Seaking, what are you doing? Instantly get eaten up here, but they're taking a different fight as well. 2 fights on 2 different fronts. Iron Reapers clearing this section now after a bunch of battles, also holding strong. Shenji Grenadiers and double Metallators wreaking havoc on that pile there. So, not surprising that they lost on both fronts. Lost on this front because leaving their rear completely exposed there, while getting shot up on the other side. BPJ just chasing them down right now. So many losses for Seaking. 7 people left alive right now. How many people died is my question. 14 deaths. 14 people died in that exchange. My goodness. Losses are heavy for Seaking, but it's not something impossible. Also, gotta get this front gate open. You gotta increase the number of avenues. Does look like... Oh, never mind. Someone opened the gate. Looks like one member from Seaking opening the gate. Oh, point blank charge here. Loses a few medals. I think he just lost 1 medal there, actually. Didn't actually lose very much. Prefecture Pikeman can be a devastating charge, but you're really upset when you're fighting something that can actually survive your charge. That charge hits for like 3. That charge hits for like 3 to 4,000. It's nothing small. I mean, A fully braced Medal probably only takes around about 3,000 damage. It's still quite devastating to get hit by it, though. Would not take it lightly. Heroes quite occasionally die to it. I mean, I've died to it. Good night, Aussie. Belayed 3 minutes ago. I'm sorry. Sorry that I can stay for the full battle. It does go on for quite a while sometimes. Seaking going for the rear stairs. That is an avenue. I've never actually seen someone take it though. BPJ has realized that they're going for the fast stairs here. Just not sure whether or not they just choose to fight here. They try to push them up. They get trebbed to pieces, but if oh my goodness, he went in for it, and it destroyed! Oh no, but he's getting clapped by the Iron Reapers. Iron Reapers gone to get distracted by the Medals. That's very unfortunate. Lethal March decimates the Iron Reapers, but not enough damage is coming out to finish them. Royal Janissaries versus Royal Janissaries, and a mixture of Medals here. They'll win those two exchanges. That is pretty impressive. This is a good start for Seaking here, but can they keep holding it? Medal's at the back here holding. They need a holding force and to choose when to go in. No! How could you let that happen? Iron Reapers just walking straight into that Fortebraccio. Get that Imperial Pikeman and slap that Fortebraccio soon. We have people coming in from the rear here with Cataphracts forcing their way through a Medal here. Second lineup coming through. I don't think they're going to stop. They're going to aim for this pile here. The Fortebraccio does get taken out. A little bit messy. A rear force here getting cleaned up. Both sides kind of exchanging fairly well on one battle or another, but here is the struggle. This supply point is captured by BPJ. I would go far to the other supply point or go straight to B. This point you're just buying for time and reinforcements. We got double Cataphracts going charging. A nice turnaround. Gonna try to, yep, he did United Charge straight through the back. This force here gets cleaned up as well. But pressure on the B point, just heroes. Pressure on the far side could lean in to a respawn. But I don't think they've got the units actually. 600 losses. That's half your army already gone. And not to mention, we only run with 2 high tier units. That means you're almost out of good units. Cataphracts sitting here. They're not gonna be engaged immediately, but it's gonna be a hard ask. We got some. All right, never mind. We got plenty of surf units up on this wall here. We got one Imperial Pikeman. The Imperial Pikeman is very low. Oh man, Cataphract versus Cataphract, but one's at full steam ahead, and he turns the corner. Oh my god, that is devastating. Cataphracts at full charge and turning the corner there. The United Charge is quite busted for turns like that. Although a charge in, they did have reinforcements of Demez Pikemen and a Nathan Guard clear up that last Cataphract. That Cataphract was probably one of the remaining good units. We got Imperial Pikemen, we did see before, and we have Iron Reapers actually. Iron Reapers where? Probably already gone in actually. But with 2 minutes 20 seconds left to go, Seaking. Oh nope, there they are. We also have another Cataphract, probably a little bit wounded. Interesting that they're going to take a fight now. Oh my god, deaths are stacking up. Quite a few people actually have permadeath. We got like 3 permadeath? That's like 1/5 of your team. Oh no. Iron Reapers as getting burned to pieces here. Enough on guards. Burning them up. Cataphract's gonna try, but it's a wall of is a wall of blades. That's the modal. I think that's done diddly done. That is the last of their high tier units. There is nothing left in reserve. Congratulations to BPJ. You have won the first attack. I mean, you have won the defense. Let's see if you can win your attack. Otherwise, it'll come down to a field battle. Cataphracts flattening the village watchman. That's very unfortunate. I think this engage here actually started off very well for Seaking. Maintaining their advantage zone, very difficult, I would say. This holding force eventually getting caught out. I mean, it was quite obvious. The supply point is blocked off on this section. So you take the fight, you win the fight, but you need to win it so convincingly that the enemy cannot recover. And even if they do recover, you win the semi-win the next exchange through attrition. 2 trebs make it through that. You'd think a ginormous flaming rock would instantly kill people, but not in this game. You survive that flaming rock and just keep on tanking. Charge! Lol. The guy who said charge just gets ballisted, or someone else gets ballisted. I heard someone get ballisted and someone died. That's funny. I will admit that Seaking did get wrecked there, but I do think that they did come up with an interesting play there. I'm gonna give them that. BPJ probably better with the setups. I think Seaking also had a plan, but I think it comes down to execution. As you can see, not ranking very high. I think the Cataphracts cleanup I think this guy was a Cataphract cleanup, wrecking a couple of medals. Doing fairly well for themselves, only 1 player. In fact, BPJ doing an even spread until half their team, and then you got a couple of stragglers. This guy is straggling down with only a few. Probably didn't get into battle very much. Oh, it takes a lot of damage, though. Over 1 million. So probably first in, best dressed, and got smacked for it. Well, as you can tell, a little bit of a loss here. Nothing too major. I mean, what am I saying? A little bit of a loss here. Nothing too major. I think it was just a couple of random units and a sally out. It was a sally out, wasn't it? This here at the first engagement, always very interesting. Second engagement at the rear. I don't know, man, it's very impressive, like, how both sides just lost so heavily. One side was outnumbered and the other side was outgunned. Well, anyway, continuing on to the next battle. Hopefully I haven't missed it just yet. Oh, that's not good. There we go. Da, da, da. I'm surprised he didn't switch me to the other side. Normally he is switched to the relevant sides. Kind of color coding. This time the defenders might be blue. I think my hair looks better messy. Instead of combing it back. I think I think BPJ's definitely just has a better strategy. Nothing too wild. Nothing too wild about their plays out so far. And I definitely think Seaking lacks lacks some of the discipline in order to deal with certain situations. But then again, when you run into a brick wall, sometimes you just can't think of anything besides hitting your head against it. Lack of setup is kind of obvious where you don't plan for things, and when you just have some like it's kind of obvious that Seaking probably just goes in with meta units and just believes that they can deal with the situation. But when it comes down to hard situations where it's just like you're at a disadvantage, they can't seem to overcome that. The play for that backstairs was a good strategy. Mainly because they overcome a part of their weakness by being able to get down on the ground, and they didn't have ranged units in an angle or in such a way where they get blasted to pieces, and they was together so they weren't outnumbered. So the second play starts off good, but whatever advantage they gained, they could not continue because lack of units. Realistically, I mean, the massive losses from at the start, that was the killer for Seaking. Seaking just needs to, as an attacker, you need to not only gain an advantage, you also need to attrition well, because the defenders have so many advantage or so many ways to get advantage that if you just have equal, well, I mean, in this case, the defenders already won the first battle, so they had unit advantage. The unit advantage is, again, pretty devastating. Can't, like, pretty critical. I mean, I wouldn't put it past you that I've seen a battle by the skin of the defender's teeth where they survive by just stalling with their low surf units, but that's stalling. An attacker is going to have to really push hard to fight a defender of higher quality troops with lower quality troops. It'd be pretty impressive if someone could pull this off. I don't think anyone has so far. The quality in troop is staggering and difficult to overcome. But a 15-man hero goon squad could win out, mainly due to just killing all the other heroes. Imagine if you just had like a goon squad and they just surgically and strategically take out every single one of the enemy heroes and they could do nothing about it. But anyway, I'm going to go on to the next battle. Probably the last one for the night. I don't think from previous showings that Seaking's got what it takes to defend against BPJ, but here they are. Let's give them a shot. Let's see how you do. We got same or similar class loadouts. Banner guards, again, shields. Didn't get to see where the shields were placed. I think they got decimated before I got to look at them. Two banner guards out for BPJ. Interesting to see banner guards. Not particularly sure. Meow. My cat is gone. She's gone, see. Probably go on walkabout. I have no idea. Prefecture pikemen. Choice of 3 prefecture pikemen. So I don't understand. I think the prefecture pikemen is just clearly just to catch out heroes. Interesting choice. Gone in with the 2 Metallators, just 2. Again, only enough to suppress 1 siege tower each, and you're gonna have to commit Culverin. So it does look like Seaking gone with the standard Culverin approach, gonna destroy those siege towers, force BPJ to take another avenue. Let's see if BPJ can break the suppression or whether or not they're forced to go a different way. That's normally the question for the beginning part. I didn't get to check out what kind of cavalry. Where's the cavalry at? Where's the cavalry at? Alright. 3 cavalries for the attackers. 1, 2, 3 cavalries for the defenders. Cataprax and 2 Tundra humans. The 2 Tundra human choices are interesting, considering that they'll lose outright to Cataprax. Cataprax have charge and united charge. United charge will definitely trump anything well, Cataprax will definitely trump anything the Tundra humans will have, but the Tundra humans have a permanent uptime with that patrol, making them quite difficult to deal with if it comes down to a prolonged battle. But I wouldn't put it past you that Cataprax, I wouldn't put it past you that Tundra humans could make a mess of things. Cataprax have shown that they make a mess of things quite easily. But I would also say Tundra humans are quite strong indeed if you count them as only a tier 4. Probably the strongest of the tier 4 cavalry. I definitely put my hand up when I say Tundra humans definitely the strongest. Big Treb on the backside. Not a kill though. Well, kills the hero. Does look like BPJ sends a guy up only to die. Tries to Trebicide there. So Treb himself so that the enemies that are attacking him dies with him. Unfortunately, it doesn't work against Royal Janissaries, who's classically been able to survive. Well, I think Royal Janissaries are so tanky that they can survive 3 Treb shots without anyone dying. The Metallitor getting squashed by a... Oh, no. There it is. Getting squashed by this mortar. Still going for it. Looking for those Metallitors. All the siege towers did look like they're going down. Well, except this left one. This left one's not actually getting pushed, which is odd. Odd, if I do say so. Front door gets opened. And this is the awkward spot. Because they're just gonna waltz right by. Any protection for those Metallitors? I doubt it. Finishes off the last of the Metallitors. And this is why watching the front gate is also important. Just random heroes just walk straight through it, taking advantage of a weakness. Seaking, definitely just looking towards the wall, not protecting the Metallitors. It was a mistake, but then again, the Metallitors were half dead by the mortars. The pike easily gets through and breaks. Oh, might pick up a long sword. 2 heroes. Whoa! That combination is pretty nasty, but not a finish. Wow, that finisher struggle. How did you struggle with that finisher? Long sword surviving until the very end, until reinforcements arrive. They got guys out on the field being active. This middle siege tower won't have any suppression on it. Just got, well, actually, they got Culverin shooting directly at it. Left-hand siege tower made it up to the wall, so they do have some prep ready to go. Just gonna use those Culverins mainly. Whoa! This is terrible. Short sword is, man, you could just treb this and just be on your way. Mr. Jewel Blade wants to just take him out one by one, and he can do nothing about it. The short sword gets trapped on its own culverins, and this is kind of the bad thing when when you're in a situation where you let the enemy heroes wreak havoc in your back line. Ah, man. If everyone starts doing it, you better not do it, because sometimes the enemy can take advantage of certain actions that you take. I mean, like most of the heroes, inside the city are literally still able to just go straight through the front gate. That is a weakness that BPJ has exploited. What? What? I'm so confused. Why were those royal janitors outside? They didn't walk outside, did they? That's so weird. BPJ does kill someone. Does look like there's a battle happening. Oh my goodness. They did get that left-hand siege tower up on the wall, and so they're making their way across the wall. Did miss out just a little bit, not too much. Village Watchmen and some banner guards, along with some prefecture pikemen, does look like to contest them, but the Medals, or super high tier units, just coming through, bowling right through, with the Imperial pikemen, Royal Janissaries, Iron Reapers. So they'll take the wall fairly easily, and they might pick up another short sword. That was awkward double thunderstruck. Oh, goodness. Horse jump? Anyone? No, it does look like a double failure for the horse jump. If a longbow was out on here, shooting him would probably be an option. But he'll get out. You gotta be careful with your units as well. Can't let them go for free. A little bit of a loss, not terrible start. But I would also say that some deaths are unnecessary. Well, I'm surprised that the deaths are 3 to the defenders, 1 to the attackers. Bum, bum, bum. No one's checking the wall, and I mean, like, realistically, I don't think anyone would have really caught this, the Metallators. But a massive stack here on the right-hand side, and that is an awesome position. Once those Metallators start firing, someone should definitely go to deal with it, but I think the stack here on the stairs is a little bit ill-prepared. Ah, ill-prepared is not the word. We got ballistas coming through, and I mean, like, this is pretty sad, just getting ballisted down here. Other teams have suffered this before, and kind of gone with a drawn-out battle. More guys getting ballisted shot. I'm not sure if Seaking's going to be able to just stand here for much longer, as they're also getting shot by other things. Mortars. Got some heroes also rocking around. Talking about dual blade. There are some good dual blades around. It will be very hard to find any. We've got some Royal Janissaries here on the bottom, but I mean, I don't think they had very many high tier units, and my goodness, that Fort Brusher has already taken so much damage from the getting shot by the ballistas that there were barely any of them left. Here comes the reverse charge. A charge into the reverse charge clears up quite a bit. Does a lot of damage, but surprisingly didn't feel like a lot of damage. Man, I swear that Cataphract either missed somehow or did not feel like it hit very hard. Man, Shenji's getting decimated here. Outnumbered and severely outgunned here. Wow, I'm surprised how fast. The Metallitors wrecked the Portabraccio there. And I think here was interesting because they had so many units here, and it felt like that cataphract charge was weaker than it should have been, or I didn't see very many people fall because it wasn't a full charge through, or maybe the things did die and those are the bodies, but I feel like the exchanges probably would be very bad for them. Probably it was because I think everything already left, and just a couple of surf units were blocking them in that angle. This might be easier for Seaking here, but double losses already. We're already heading into about 120, and it's going to be very difficult for Seaking to maintain this triple front here. I'd definitely pull this Medal back, turn around the corner, otherwise just go all in on this front section, but you have no range, which is very unfortunate. And there goes a grape shot, just absolutely bodying those guys. We got the Tertials also shooting on. Here comes the Metallitors. No ranged units means that this setup here is ill-conceived. You're going to have to engage, and it's going to have to be super hard. All of you go from the front, or you got to make it. You got to make it through somewhere. This Medal need to engage soon, otherwise it's going to be trapped. Here comes an Imperial Pikeman. Could swing harder. Again, like, this is so much space here. You can swing around and hit this side, but you're going in this narrow passageway. Sheer mass is going to win out, and you're getting shot to pieces as on the approach as well. So, a lot of people just standing around as the battle rages on. Secondary Medals have already pulled up onto the B point. Blasted apart. Lethal March tried to Lethal March in, but the Royal Janissary just slashes the Medals into pieces. And now the secondary forces of Medal also pushes through. Cataphracts tries to clean them up, but unfortunately the delayed engage causes the Cataphracts to lose. Now, with Royal Janissaries and Medals, they secure this B point fairly easily, and it's just an attrition for the finish here. I do not believe that Seaking's got very many high tier units left, if at any at all, but the Tertials and the Metallitors definitely smacking these people to pieces. Range superiority is working out for them huge here. And Zero Theory. Don't be afraid to play Dual Blade. Don't be afraid to play anything that you like. One of the things that you have to accept with Dual Blade is that if you go deep for infiltration missions, you're going to have to leave your unit behind. It's just impossible to bring your unit while being invisible, because some places where you go as a Dual Blade will be completely out of position, or completely out of position, and if you bring your unit's going to be out of position. There have been some tricky Dual Blades that have turned invisible and let people see their unit walking around, and then you will see random heroes just jump on them. Classically, ranged units have always been a great bait for Dual Blades to snatch up heroes that want to dive on them. That's a Frontier thing, but like... doing that barrage, sorry. We have the Imperial Spear Guard holding the line here. Tries to force their way through. Nice block as they form up formation, but getting ran over by infantry and cavalry. Not much left. It'll be a fast cleanup for the attackers. Don't think Seaking got anything left.
Together we stand. Death summons you. Death summons you. Scatter before my might.
Yeah, yeah. So, about the Dual Blade, it can't really do anything with it right now. One of the problems with Dual Blade is that A lot of players play medium or heavy armor, and realistically, your damage is not high enough to kill those kinds of players. What you're probably good at is killing longbows and shortbows. Those guys will probably die fairly easily. Like your whole combo will probably send them to near death or just kill them outright. But on heavy armor and medium armor, those guys, like, just that little bit of armor doesn't allow them to die. Also, it can be impressive to pull off a good dual blade, but brute forcing it with just heavy armor and stats is just way easier. They made dual blade too strong back in the day, and now they've made dual blade too weak. So I'm not sure what direction they're going to do with dual blade. It still has a little bit of a play style. It has a play style, sorry, but a place in a team, not so much. Anyway, let me just talk about this shortly, and I'll just wrap it up for the end of the day, since that was all the battles we'll get to see for tonight. But anyway, we got BPJ doing work with 1,000 odd unit score for the top ranker. We also have 3 other guys also hitting above 700. Oh, no, 5 guys. 6 guys going up 700, past 700, and 2 guys going over 1,000. I do think that the hero kills coming out huge for this spear in the mid ranks. No wonder why he's down there. Seaking, I said this before, didn't have a very good showing before, but they did have a top player still scoring big, probably off some decent plays. Probably that catapult charge at the on the right hand side doing well for them. Lots of permadeath. He didn't die, in fact, so wonder what that's worth. Overall, I still think that Seaking just unable to deal with the evolving situations and the evolving strategies of higher tier games, and definitely kind of being a little bit complacent in some of the old strategies. Again, holding those stairs is good, but getting shot to pieces with the ballistas is just not fun. BPJ definitely has a strategy, definitely playing to the tune, well, playing Seaking for everything they're worth, really running into bad situations at every turn. But with that being said, I think that is all for tonight. I'm just going to take a look, see if we get a field battle. I don't think we're going to get a field battle, but let me just wrap this up. Oh my god, I'm fat fingering here. Yeah, doesn't look like it. Anyway, to end this night off, we got to watch MTA versus TKH, with MTA winning 2-0. Then we got to watch SKC versus BPJ, with BPJ taking it with 2-0. On the 1st, so not tomorrow, not the day after, but on the Wednesday from now, we got to watch. We'll get to watch from the A division, FS versus BXWL, followed by XLTZ versus Kami. In the B division, we have TKT versus XLZT, but unfortunately XLZT gave up. Followed by GPPC versus ECL. And then in the C division, we have ERG versus GST, followed by EFFS versus KBB. Then in the D division, we have Tang versus GT and DFS versus MGK. The battles I'll be watching, first battle is ERG versus SGT, and then the second battle being XLTZ versus Kami. Yes. Kiv Matt. I'm gonna call you Matt. yes, when it is good, I think new players should get into the game. The next season will start on the 9th. So how to explain? There's a big wall, massive wall. Here on the frontier side, we have what's called a tier lock. So classically, a tier lock locks out um, locks out locks out heroic and golden era units. It is very easy for new players to get up to silver era. They just hand you silver era units, so these blue units. Um, I think new players will feel a wall. New players, the best time to start is always at the start of the season, and when you're starting at the start of a season, there is a tier lock, so it is best time to get in when the new season starts, and it comes out on the 9th. And I do believe that if you enjoy the game, you will. If you you can enjoy the game as a new player. I do believe that because there's a lot of systems in place in order to make the new player experience more enjoyable. But I think the best way to make sure your experience is the best is to play with people, because once you get all of the units, once you get into the higher tier thing, then what? You play with other people to enjoy the game. I think the game is very enjoyable when you start out, but when you get into the later sections and some of the higher tier units, it starts to bug me as well. But I do believe that if you're going to start as a new player, start in the new season. Starting in the new season is the best time. You get to experience the tier 3 lock, you get to experience the tier 4 lock, and then eventually a full release of the tier 5s. And it's 2 weeks of tier 3. That's enough time to get a tier 4, maybe several tier 4s up and running. And by the time you get into a month of playing, you can have tier 5s, and you will be on an equal playing field with most of the people you're playing with. Not to mention, matchmaking has its own ELOs to make sure that people don't just get blown out of the water. But with that being said, I did say that we are going to be watching. We're going to be watching. Oh my god. GRG versus GST, and then XLTZ versus Kami. So that will be on the Wednesday, and I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. But other than that, my name's Asuka. Have a nice day. Bye now.